Hey y'all, welcome to Kamira's Kitchen. I am going to put you on some cookout favorites today. Now, whether you're having to cook out or cook in, or you just want some good food, you're going to love all of these recipes. I'm going to get started with a, Italian, or should I say black Italian, pasta salad, because y'all know, y'all see the back of this hand. Y'all know I ain't Italian, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get started by cooking the noodles in some chicken bouillon and some salt according to the package instructions. And then I'm just going to drain them and run over some cold water. Once they have cooled down, I am then going to spray my noodles with a little bit of olive oil. This is going to keep them from sticking together. Then I'm going to put them in a container and I'm going to place them in the fridge. Since this is a pasta salad, I want everything to be cold before I mix everything together. I am using one cucumber today, and this is a regular one, not like the little Persian cucumbers that I typically would use. So I am going to partially peel off the skin. I only do some of it because I think the pattern is pretty when it's cut up. And then I am going to remove the cucumber seeds. I feel like when you leave the seeds, it can make the salad a little too watery. So I just take them out and then I chop up my cucumber. This is the dressing that you're going to want to use. Okay, this specific brand I find is so good in a pasta salad, as well as this Italian packet. I'm only using half of the packet though, and I'm throwing in some mayo, as well as about a tablespoon of this dry ranch seasoning. Now you can leave out the mayo. I know some people don't play with it. Instead, you could use some olive oil. I'm going to add a little bit more of the dressing, and then I am going to place in my cool down noodles as well as some banana peppers. These are going to add a little bit of acidity, as well as some turkey pepperoni, some salami, my cucumbers, some really sweet cherry tomatoes, parsley, but you could also use chopped up basil, and some onion. I don't really like olives, so I don't add that, but you certainly could put in olives as well as mozzarella balls. I couldn't find any mozzarella balls though, so instead I am going to add some shredded Parmesan cheese, which is going to give it a nice little salty element. Once you mix everything together, you're going to want to taste it to see if it matches what you like, okay? Because you the captain in your kitchen, all right, baby? And I like to let this sit overnight for the best flavor. You will find that when you let it sit overnight, you may have to add a little bit more olive oil or dressing in the morning, but for me, this tasted perfect. Are you guys going to try this Italian pasta salad recipe? Let me know in the comments. Nothing like having a little bit of barbecue chicken. Today we're going to do a Caribbean inspired barbecue chicken recipe with my favorite cut of chicken, which is some thighs. So I'm going to go in and I'm just going to use some basic seasonings, a little bit of garlic powder, onion powder, pepper, chicken bouillon, as well as some garlic, allspice, and a scallion seasoning to give it a nice color. I'm going to put in some browning. This pickled pepper sauce to me tastes really good on meats, whether that be barbecue meats or stewed meats. But if you don't have this, you can leave it out. I'm doing this Caribbean style, so I'm also going to go in with some Scotch bonnet sauce, as well as some garlic and some green seasoning. And then, of course, I'm going to add a little bit of barbecue. I'm going to mix this together and I'm going to let this just sit at room temperature for about 10 minutes. And then I'm going to add this to my baking sheet. If you are doing this on the grill, of course, you can grill your meat instead. Once I have added all of my chicken thighs, I'm then going to put on some red onion and some peppers. Y'all, this just going to make the juices taste real delicious and add lots of color. I'm going to add some fresh thyme as well just to kick up the flavor. I'm going to cover this and I'm going to place this in a 350-degree oven for about 20 minutes. While my chicken is cooking, I'm just going to jazz up my barbecue sauce just a little bit. So to it, I'm going to add a little bit more of the pickled pepper sauce, as well as some more of the Scotch bonnet sauce. But this is optional. I just like to add a little bit depth of flavor. And as you can see, I'm not really using a ton of sauce because I just don't want it super sweet. But of course, you should use as much as you and your family likes. After 20 minutes, I'm going to take my chicken out. I'm going to uncover it. I'm going to brush it with this sauce because, of course, we want it to be nice and brown. Then I'm going to stick it back into the oven at 400 degrees, uncovered for about 20 to 25 minutes. You just want to watch it until it gets nice and golden, just like this. And you may even want to broil it a little bit on low. Let me know, will you try this recipe? You guys asked me to show you how to make some pork-free baked beans. And baby, I'm going to do it. Okay, so this time I'm going to make the beans from scratch too. You can either use pinto beans or you can use navy beans. Okay, whichever one you like, it doesn't matter. You do need to rinse them beans, baby. Okay, I see people just pouring the beans in from dried and just cooking them and not washing them. Baby, you see all that dirt? You got to wash it, okay? Now, to make things nice and simple, I prefer to cook these beans in the Instant Pot. I'm not going to soak them or anything like that, but whatever method you prefer for cooking beans, you can use. So I'm going to add these beans in with enough water to cover them by 2 inches. I'm also going to add in a bay leaf and a clove of garlic, and I am going to cook them on high pressure for 45 minutes, and then I will let them natural pressure release for about 45 minutes as well. It is important that your beans are as soft as you want them to be, because even though you put them in the oven, they actually don't get that much more softer. I think that the salt and the sauce and the sugar and everything tend to keep them whatever texture they were at when they were done cooking. If you don't want to go through cooking all these beans, just skip this step and just drain and rinse some pinto or navy beans. Into an oven-safe dish, I'm going to add some butter and a little bit of olive oil. I also add a diced onion and saute this for about 3 minutes. Then I am going to put in some bell peppers. These ones I'd already had frozen. I chopped them up and I threw them right in here and I sauteed them for about 2 minutes. I am going to be using some lean ground beef. That 7327 beef is just too greasy in my opinion for this recipe. So I think you should either use 8515 or 937. Okay, since that is going to release the least amount of grease. And I don't like to drain it because I feel like that adds flavor. So that's why I just like to go for those lean cuts. Once my meat is cooked, I'm going to thoroughly season everything with garlic powder, onion powder, smoked paprika, a little bit of mesquite barbecue seasoning. Since I'm not getting the smokiness from the bacon, I'm using the seasonings to add a level of smokiness. But of course, if you eat pork, baby, gonna throw in you some slices of bacon, okay? And don't play with it. That's gonna be good. Or even a piece of fat back. Amen. Okay. I'm going to now add in some tomato paste and 2 chilies in adobo, because that's going to, again, add that smokiness, but it's not going to be too hot. Just 1 clove of garlic and a few allspice berries. Don't skip adding a pinch of allspice or a pinch of clove, because these are those subtle flavors that just take your dishes over the top. All right, that's going to make yours stand out from other people, but it's not going to be overwhelming at all. I'm going to lightly sweeten this with maple syrup and brown sugar. My beans, ain't candy beans. I know a lot of people like candy beans, but as for me, okay, I like my beans to still be savory. But if you like more sugar, you can add even a half a cup or so of brown sugar to what I've already put. Once my beef has been well seasoned, I'm then going to add my cooked pinto beans as well as the juices. That is going to combine with the tomato paste to make a really rich sauce, and it really keeps in all of that bean flavor. That's why, if I can, I do like to make my beans from scratch, because that is just even better than the can. I felt like it was going to need a little bit more liquid, so I went in with some beef broth, and it's just gelled up because it was cold, and a little bit of low sodium beef bouillon. You have to taste your food. All right, so when I tasted it, I felt like it was lacking a little bit of smokiness. So I went in with some more of the barbecue seasoning and the rest of my seasonings just to my taste. You could add that liquid smoke, but y'all, I don't like liquid smoke like that. I just don't play with it. I feel like it don't give me the best flavor. And I also put in some mustard. I mixed this together. I covered this tightly and I placed this in the oven at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. However, if you are impatient, you certainly could simmer this on the stove top for about 20 minutes and just eat it like that, because really it is fully done. You just need those pinto beans to absorb that flavor. After 30 minutes, I went through and I mixed it together. That's important because the beans might be stuck a little bit to the bottom of the pan. I want to reduce the sauce and concentrate the flavor, so I'm going to put it back into the oven uncovered for about 20 minutes. If this is the level of sauce that you want, then simply add a little bit more beef broth and then put it in, because regardless, that caramelization that happens around the side of the pan and on the top, that actually adds a ton of flavor. These beefy baked beans are so delicious. Actually, I ate them as a meal on their own throughout the week with the leftovers, and I loved them. They had so much depth of flavor. They were meaty. They were tender. I really love this. They're so flavorful. Let me know if you guys are going to try this recipe, and if you love it, come back and let me know. Baby, have you had some garlic Parmesan corn? My family loved this recipe, and it is so easy. It all begins with some fresh corn. Now, I don't know what it is, but corn been having these little, whatever it is, some little sprout or something at the top of it this summer, and I feel like the ears have been really small. I don't know if it's just been a bad corn season or if the farmers are picking them early, but child, I had to spend like 10 or 15 minutes sorting through the fresh corn at the store to get me some good ears. Okay. Once I had them prepped, I put them in some boiling water and I cooked them for about 10 minutes just so they could warm up and get plump. While they were cooking, I took my aggression out, okay, and I just busted some garlic. All right, now I'm using 5 cloves of garlic because I want mine super garlicky, but you can use as much or as little as you want. Of course, I peeled it and then I gave everything a fine mince. Let me know in the comments, what is your favorite corn on the cob recipe? Of course, we know the elote corn. Now I'm doing garlic Parmesan corn. I've done Caribbean coconut corn. But what is your favorite way to have some corn? I always love that roasted corn from the state fair that they put that seasoning on. So let me know what your favorite is. What is going to set this recipe over the top is the homemade garlic Parmesan butter. I have a stick of butter. I'm adding in about a teaspoon of ranch seasoning, all of my garlic, and some parsley. I'm going to put that in the microwave until it is melted, and then I'm going to place my corn in an oven-safe dish. To season everything up, we're going to be adding that delicious garlic butter. I'm going to just pour it all over everything. Now at the side, I have some more dry seasonings, but I don't like to mix them into the butter. I feel like I get better coverage if I just sprinkle them onto the tops of the corn. My favorite seasoning out of all of them is a garlic butter seasoning. You can either use this one or you can use one by Kinder's. It really doesn't matter. To me, they taste pretty similar. Then I'm going to go in with some pepper and a little bit of Sazon Tropical, but you could also use Badia Complete seasoning. I am not going to add any additional salt because these seasonings have a little bit of salt. Plus, Parmesan cheese is really salty, so I would just wait until everything is done, okay, and you take that first bite before you decide if you want to add any extra salt to this recipe. Of course, since I seasoned the front, I am also going to season the back because we're going to be eating all sides of this corn, okay? We're going to be up here cleaning off this cob, all right? And then I am going to put a generous amount of Parmesan cheese on the top. Baby, just get it all up in there, all right? Then you are going to put this in the oven at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. You want to keep it in there until that Parmesan cheese melts, and you can kind of smell a little bit of that garlicky flavor because you want that fresh garlic to toast. On a scale of 1 to 10, tell me how delicious does this look? Are you going to try this garlic Parmesan corn recipe? Because baby, if you do, you definitely got to come back and let me know how you liked it. I hope you all enjoyed these recipes. You all know that I love you and Jesus loves you. And I'll see you next time in Kamira's Kitchen. Goodbye and God bless.